Opedare, a devout woman of God, wife, mother, and entrepreneur. A God-fearing woman who has devoted her time to ensuring that God's message is used to empower everyone, but most especially women. With a strong belief in the importance of women empowering women and educating each other through our life experiences, she is the founder of Women's Forum, Let's Be Real, a forum for women to work through issues and set and accomplish goals together. Held every second Friday of every month at 6 Elton Road, Lee Green, London. Keep up with Let's Be Real here on PRZ FM every Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Let's Be Real on PRZ Radio 109.2 FM. My name is Jummy Opedare. I'm your host. Thank you for tuning in every Tuesday. And on this particular program, Let's Be Real, we talk about real life issues that affect our lives. And we always bring different speakers, guests to come and talk to you about their experiences, about their knowledge. And today we are going to be talking about a specific issue that affects our young people. And I've got in the studio with me my very own people. Afojj, you are welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Rukky, you are welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for taking time to come and share your experience on this particular platform. Thank you so much. If you still have any topic that you want us to bring on here on Let's Be Real, please don't forget you can email it to us on letsbereal@przfm.com. letsbereal@przfm.com. We will definitely respond to your email or bring that particular topic on here. If you have any question about what we have done so far, please don't forget that you can ask us your question on through the email as well. We'll bring all the answers on here to you. Thank you so much. Without you, this program will not be what it is. Thank you for all your comments and your feedback. Today we are talking about transition from uni to real world. Transition from uni to real world. It might not be a big deal to some people, but people that are involved, they know that this is a big thing. The perspective that you have before you go to uni might be different to what you are facing at this particular time that you have finished, or you are still in your dreaming world. You think this is how things will be. We want to hear from these two that have just experienced the real life. They've just gone out of the uni and they're in the real world. We want to ask them, is it the same? Are they facing what they expect, or how has it been with them? Thank you again for coming in. Okay, let me start by asking you this question: that what was your impression of uni before you started?
For me, uni's always been something that's been pictured as like the final stage of education. It's something that from a young age you feel like you have to accomplish. Like, so from secondary school you feel you have to get to sixth form of college, and then from there you eventually know that, okay, I want to go into uni. So it's pictured out to be like an amazing experience. You're not really sure what it's like because you only really see it on films and movies, or you just know that your older brothers or your cousins have been. So for me, it was something that I thought would be very exciting. It would be a lot of freedom because you're away from your parents, and something that I just know they don't really talk about the education part of it, but they just talk about the social part.
True.
They tell you that it's going to be like the best time of your life. They tell you it's going to be, you have your own freedom, you meet some of the most amazing people in your lives. So just picture that to be quite hyped up, to be honest, from a young age, for me personally.
Fantastic. Rukky, is this the same for you?
Mine's very similar as well. I'd say mine is more, it's painted out to be like a one-way route to success, coming from like an African household as well. If you don't go to uni, they don't really encourage like doing other things. So going to uni for me was something quite exciting, especially seeing my older sister, my cousins. So it was something I was looking forward to, and it was quite exciting.
Oh wow, that's good. That's good impression. Yeah, you had the impression, but we can put a twist to it, that your impression of uni before you started, and now when you finish, how do you compare the two? Was your impression of it the same experience that you had?
To some extent, I believe there's some parts that were were the same. Like, I always thought it'd be exciting and a freedom, and I thought, for me personally, I enjoyed my experience at uni. I had a lot of good times. I met a lot of lifelong friends and people that I'm still very close to right now. So in that aspect, I thought, yeah, it lived up to expectations, in the sense of, you go to uni and your life is going to be sorted. It's not really the same, because you go to uni and there's a lot of things you have to find out for yourself. There's a lot of learning and independence involved in it. So it's not really like you just go to uni and your life is set up from there. It's literally, a lot of it is down to yourself, and a lot of people can go to uni and come out with different stories and different situations. So it's literally, I always say, uni is what you make of it. So looking back, I enjoyed it. The social parts of it I enjoyed, but a lot of the education part, I found out a lot of the work you've got to do yourself. You've got to put in the work to get the results.
And that one was not hyped before you.
It wasn't. No one really spoke to me about the education part of it. Like, I didn't know there was that much independence. Like, I'm used to going to school. There's a teacher that will come and check if you've done the work. There's a teacher that will come and make sure you're not struggling. But at uni, the lecturers do their job, and they leave you to do the rest of it. They leave you to get on, and they expect you to be able to solve it out. But a lot of the things that I realized is that there are opportunities there, but you have to go and find it at university. So there may be a lot of resources or help available, but it's not going to be put on a plate to you like it was at secondary school or at sixth form. You have to go out your way to find the help or to find the right people to solve your problems.
Thank you so much, Rukky.
Carrying on from what Falan said about the independence. The independence is such a big thing for me as well, because coming from I went to sixth form. So if you go to a college, usually you don't really get as much help. But when you go to a sixth form, it's kind of like secondary school. So you get quite a lot of help every day. You're in there, your teacher's helping you. But going to uni, it's basically you and your books, and that's it. If you don't go into lectures, no one's going to call you and tell you why you're not in today.
Or call your mom.
Literally, you can get a friend to sign you in. So it's like, not that they don't care, but it's like they see you as an adult now. So you need to do what you need to do, and they're there to do what they need to do, and that's literally it. But in terms of my impressions and changes, I think there isn't that much of a big difference from my impression before I went to uni and after. But I do think there's a lot of things that you're not told, or you're not, no one speaks about certain parts of university. And I think the reason for that is because people try to glamorize university. They don't want people to see the bad side, so people are more willing to go to uni, if that makes sense.
Oh, I believe that would be among your friends, your mates, but the parents will still continue to tell you that you need to come back home with this qualification, you need to come back home with. Not every parent though. Some parents are just happy that their children are in university, they don't care what they do there. But some African parents will be like, where's your result this semester? Where are you struggling? Is there any difficulty? And I know that young people don't want to hear that often. Am I right?
No, you're right, to be honest, to some extent.
Yeah, I agree as well. And I think touching on what you said about some parents not being so involved, because I find that I lived with a few girls in my second year of uni, and I find that some of us, our parents were more in touch, calling us, asking us how's uni going and how's this and that. And I think those people that had that, they had a bit of a better experience, because it's always nice to have someone check up on you and just ask how everything's going, whereas the rest of us that didn't really have that, it was a bit more, not difficult, but
I've had stories of people that want to go to uni just for the social life. They're not thinking about what course, what grade, how am I going to. They just want to enjoy life, and at the end of the day, they struggle to finish.
I've touched on that. I find that a lot of people go to uni and it's like they kind of forget their morals or forget who they are really and truly, because a lot of people go to universities in a different location, a different area to where they grew up. So a lot of people use this as an opportunity to change themselves or to act brand new and be the person that they never were back in as we call it, ends, like your home area.
Alter ego.
Yeah, so it's like I find that a lot of people, they use it as an opportunity to be the popular person or be the cool person, and really and truly, if that's not you. Like, some people, it's okay to be an introvert, it's okay to not be out there, but some people think because they're in a new environment, they need to make a name for themselves. which is not always. It's not really real. If you ask me.
Touching on that as well, I think that's where a lot of people find themselves struggling as well at uni, because you're trying to portray a certain lifestyle or a certain image of yourself, but you're in, like, your actual true self doesn't reflect that. So on the outside you're happy and living your best life at uni, but when you're back in your dorm, in your room by yourself, it's not really the case.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All our listeners, we're talking about the transition from uni to real world. And if you have your children that are going into uni or they are in uni, one of the things that I've picked from what Afojj and Rukky have just discussed is that check on your children, find out what they are doing, encourage them that uni is not just about social life, because I think they easily forget. And by the time they forget, at the end of uni, they might not be where where you expected them to be. We are not saying that uni is a compulsory route for everyone, but if you have decided to go in, you need to do the work. You need to get something out of it. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now let me ask you your personal experience from uni to real world. After graduating, are you where you thought you would be? What is the difference in your thinking before and now?
Me personally, for me, I went into uni not really knowing what I wanted to do. I just thought, uni, I just have to go uni. Like my mom said, you have to go uni. My teacher said I have to go uni. So even picking a subject and a course to study, it was almost an issue at the beginning. So for me, I just thought, what do I see myself doing? So I just thought something to do with business, something money related. That's at a young age. Option. That's what I thought. It's not, I wouldn't even call it an easy option. It's just something that I could picture myself doing. I couldn't picture myself doing any like scientific degree or like history or maths, all that stuff. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't make me, like, I don't see myself waking up every morning to do them kind of careers. So for me, initially, I just thought, let me get into something business related. And then as I was going through uni, there was something specific about my uni where they encourage every student to try to take like a placement year, which is like a year in industry. So you're going to be working, getting experience. So for me, I was hearing around the time that some people might be struggling to get jobs once they graduate. So I thought, if I can manage to get myself some experience before I graduate, it will put me in a better position. So that was one thing that's one thing that I was grateful that I did, because for me, I had to apply for a placement for my third year, and through that I kind of learned the realities of looking for a job. Looking for a job is not an easy process. You don't wake up one day, apply, and hear from them the next day. You have to go through a long process. You have to take a lot of rejections, a lot of L's as part of the process, because realistically, there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of people trying to get the same jobs as you. So you've got to go through the process. And then I learned another thing about networking, speaking to people who've done it before me, speaking to people who are better equipped and can give me the resources to help me. So for me, I learned that, and it helped me in terms of getting a placement and eventually getting a job by the time I graduated. So for me, I actually managed to secure a grad job by the time it was January, my final year. So it was a different process to a lot of people who graduate then start looking for jobs. So I had a graduate job by the time I'd finished. And for me, it was like I got to enjoy a bit of summer holiday before I've started working. So for me, it was quite a smooth transition, but I still had to go through the process of learning the realities of applying and applications during uni.
So if I want to echo what you have just shared with people, that you went into uni not very clear of how things will unfold, but you learned on your journey. You learn how to face the real world because you paid attention to do it.
Yeah, I feel like I was going with the flow at the start, but then you can't go with the flow for the whole life. Like reality will come and find you. So it was a case where I realized, okay, I need to be doing this. Like I started thinking there's stages that I need to kind of go through. So I just had to eventually go through it. And then that's when I started learning, like, this is what it's really about.
So job life now is not a difficult thing for you after uni because you've done it before?
Yes, I've already had some experience in it. So it's not a big shock for me.
Fantastic. Rukky, what about your personal experience?
I think touching on what Afojj said about going to uni who are quite hands-on with like placements and stuff. Where he went to Loughborough University, for example, they're quite hands-on with like pushing students to do placements and an application process. My uni, on the other hand, I went to Coventry. It's not the same thing. They're a lot more lenient. So in terms of placements, I had no one telling me about placement. I kind of found out about placement through Afojj. So he was helping me in the process. But that's why it's quite important to choose what uni you go to quite wise, because if you go to a uni that isn't quite helpful with stuff like that, you find yourself struggling a lot. So that's why I actually didn't end up getting a placement, even though I wanted to, because I didn't really get help. So in terms of my own personal experience after finishing uni, I actually took a different route. So initially going to uni, I thought I would finish and get a graduate job, but I ended up actually doing something completely different. So I'm currently self-employed, so I'm a hairdresser, and you don't need a degree to be a hairdresser, of course, but going to uni was just, it helped. It helps in certain aspects of life, like just communicating to people, writing emails, stuff like that. But I think in terms of my experience altogether, I don't think I necessarily needed to go to uni to do what I'm doing right now. But in the future, it might help me do something else. I don't know that. But at the moment, I'm kind of enjoying it.
So I just want to ask a question. Do you think in terms of running a business and the like entrepreneur skills, do you think uni helped in anything, or like just with organization? Because it's not easy to just to run a business.
No, 100%. I think university definitely helped me, because even what we were speaking about before about when you go to university, you get literally no help. Your lecturers are just there to teach, so you kind of gain some sort of independence. So you're able to do things on your own time. You're able to structure your life day by day. So I think that helps with being self-employed a lot, because you need to be very organized, especially if you're dealing with clients on a day-to-day basis. So it's completely different from the corporate world. A lot of people go to uni and end up going through the corporate route, but I think it's important to realize that you shouldn't be scared to go through other routes. So you can either be employed by someone, or you can literally find your own route. But I don't think the corporate world should be pushed onto people. So do what's best for you, kind of.
Fantastic. I really appreciate that experience of yours, that you went to uni and you are doing something different. Well, what you took from 3 years uni would have contributed to who you are today. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that you won't feel that you just wasted your 3 years. If you didn't go uni and you are doing what you are doing, maybe you would have noticed that there will be a gap, or it will be the same.
I think going to uni helps me find the path that I'm in right now.
Okay.
Because in that 3 years, I was able to try different things. I think I had in the whole 3 years in uni, I had about 4 jobs altogether. So from doing those 4 jobs, I knew that wasn't what I wanted to do, and just keep trying, find different things to do. And you shouldn't really be afraid to fail. So if you try something that's not for you, get back up and try something different.
Fantastic. I believe somebody that is out there is listening to us, and try many things, discover your own roots. As we always say, not everybody is meant to go to uni, but if you are there, make proper use of the time that you spend there, so that you can face the real world after. Same thing as me. I went to uni. I think I studied the same course that you studied is what I studied. So, and I found myself doing different things after I changed, total change of career. But I will still remember the lessons I learned in uni has helped me to be able to decide on what I want to do. Because if I didn't go uni, maybe I wouldn't be thinking the way I'm thinking. So that was for me. So let's talk about the difficulties and pressure that you face when you finish uni.
For me personally, the pressure that I probably faced finishing uni is seeing people around you just move on to different aspects of life. So maybe someone's working for top 4 firm, maybe EY, Goldman Sachs, one of these big companies. You've got other people getting into like stuff like properties at such a young age. You've got people going on to study masters, maybe do a law degree, something like that. So it's like seeing everyone around you go into different corporate avenues, and I'm self-employed, so it seems like from my perspective, sometimes it seemed like my degree was not really useful. But obviously now when I look back, I can literally see the little aspects of uni that I've taken out and put into my business at the moment. But in terms of pressures, I'd say the only pressure that I currently feel, or I did feel at the time, would probably just be seeing your peers move forward. And that's pretty much it for me.
I agree with that one as well. Like, I think by the time you graduate, and you're graduating with a lot of people in the same year as you, there's a lot of attention for the people that are getting these good jobs. It's like a lot of attention nowadays with social media. Like, a lot of people publicize everything now, so you'll know. Even LinkedIn is literally like the corporate social media. You'll know, you'll get a notification saying congratulate someone on their new job. So you're thinking, wow, these people are really making progress. They're really on job. So it could be a case of pressure on, like, oh, you feel you need to get the best job, the top, not even a job. That's even another issue in itself. But now you're thinking, I've got to get the top job. So a lot of people might now be reading out a lot of these other companies just because they think it doesn't compare to the best paying jobs or the best well-known jobs. So I think there's a lot of pressure in that sense. For me, obviously, I didn't really feel as much pressure in terms of I graduated knowing that I got a job already. However, I think a lot of people generally feel like, even in the year, a lot of people are asking you, are you applying? There's a lot of tension, there's a lot of pressure just to know that you're not going to graduate and sit around doing nothing. Also, there's a lot of people that I feel they go to uni and they realize what they initially planned for is not really for them. So some people, they stick it out, they graduate knowing that, oh, this is not for them. So now it's the case of, how am I going to transition and change something completely different to what I'm doing from uni? This is not even about self-employed, employed. This is about, I want to be employed, but I've studied something. For example, I've studied economics, but I want to go into law. So it's a case of that, like, now how do I do this? Because was my whole 3 years a waste of time? Do I need to do a master's? Am I going to get employed? A lot of people now think, their degree is not going to help them in what they want to go for. So I think there's a lot of pressures in that sense.
I think it's also important to not be scared to maybe take on something new. For example, like he said about someone study economics and now they want to be a lawyer. It's okay for you to go to law school if you really want to do it. Don't be afraid of, like, because you studied one thing,
career
of change
at any time.
Because we're still quite young. When you finish uni, you're about 21. You've got literally the rest of your life to figure out what you want to do, so you've got time.
Fantastic.
And even adding to that, being in the corporate world, you realize a lot of people, they come from diverse, like, educational backgrounds. The person that's one of my people that have joined my company with me, he studied Spanish and French, where I studied retailing, marketing and management. There's no correlation at all. So it's nothing to be scared of or to hold you back in terms of, oh, I don't study this kind of degree, I can't do this kind of job. Nowadays, I don't think they really hold that to a high degree. It's like, if you want to go for it, you go and apply, and you show them why you're a capable candidate to get the job. So I think that's literally what it's about now.
That's a good point for people that are tuning in to hold onto their left hand so that you can make proper use of it. You don't have to limit yourself. Don't put a limitation on yourself that, oh, because I studied English, I can't work in the bank. These days you can. It's possible. I study modern European languages, I cannot work in some offices. You can. Just prove yourself. You just have to prove yourself. That's what Afojj and Rukky are saying, that don't limit yourself, or because you've got a grade you can't look for jobs.
Even saying that, a lot of people actually let their grades define them. So that's another pressure. A lot of people will come out and maybe they might not have got the result they like. So let's say they were aiming for a first, they might have got a 2-1 or 2-2, but now because they've got a 2-2, they think, oh, I can't go on to do this job, I can't do anything in life in general. They let that result be a burden in their life. A lot of people hold that and they let it affect them, whereas I know many people who they might not have got the result they wanted to, however they're doing so well in terms of progressing in the real life, because they know that their degree and their grade is not going to define them. They're better than that, and that they can go on and do more things.
Going off what Afojj said, even finishing uni with something like a first class, that could be a wake-up call for a lot of people, because just because you finish with, this is not my personal experience, but I know people that finish with a first and they still don't have a job till today. So what we're saying is basically having a degree, having a first class 2-1, 2-2 doesn't really define what kind of career you're going to get into or what kind of company you're going to work for. It's just all about, I think it's all about
the mindset.
So if you're actually waking up every day saying, okay, I'm going to apply for 4 jobs today, or I'm going to apply for 10 this week, then you're more likely to get something. Whereas if, because you've got a first, you decide, okay, I'm only going to apply for 1 a month, you're most likely not going to get anything. So it's all about mindset.
So it also depends on your hard work. Whether you did the hard work to get the first, you did the hard work, it doesn't show in your 2-2 or your 2-1, but you are hardworking. And you have to put in the hard work to prove a point to whatever employer that wants to employ you. I'd rather employ somebody that you know will be there on time, will do the job, than somebody that is very theoretical.
Just to say something, I'm just even thinking there's a lot of skills and things that
Qualities
that are important other than education. Because for me, I even think whenever you go to a corporate job, it doesn't really matter what you've learned before, because they're going to teach you anyway. I think there's a lot of lessons and a lot of skills that people need to learn, such as communication, such as bouncing off people's and ideas and making it into something practical. I think there's a lot of skills that people should really be picking up in life, let alone just uni, because it's like, when you go into the working world, it's not literally, life is not going to be all on a pen and paper and a test. It doesn't really work out like that. There's a lot of different things where you need to use your initiative, your creativity. You need to use a lot of different skills and make results rather than just.
And I think that's what uni is all about as well. They leave you to go and use your skills. They give you a topic and you have to go and research. You have to talk to people. You have to construct how you are going to present it. So it's not about that topic, it's about the skills that you need to put things together. And some people, if they don't go to uni or they don't go to college or a training, they might not develop those skills. They might just relax and just say, I don't have it, I don't know it. But uni also, if you look at it as if not just about the course, but the skills that you need to achieve in that particular environment. So that would be developing your skills as well. So whoever has developed those skills in any area, you need to make it loud and begin to use it. That will help you outside the uni. So
touching on that as well, like if we look back to first year, for example, when we got like group coursework, so how you handled group coursework in first year compared to like third year is completely different. So you actually learn how to work in a team very well, because as soon as you get to uni, you literally start getting group works and stuff, and with group work you literally have to communicate. You find yourself making group chats with everyone in it, planning what days you're going to meet up and study, planning who's doing this and that. But that's really good skills that uni teaches you. So even if you don't use your degree, you're learning skills for life from it.
And so just to quickly highlight, I feel like a lot of what we've been talking about is corporate world and jobs, but I feel like nowadays there's a lot of trends in terms of self-employment and creatives. There's a lot of careers that are coming from social media, YouTube, being an artist.
Those are the options that you have available.
So there's basically leading on. There's so many different routes, that career paths that you can choose. Not just the corporate world, or even being self-employed. A lot of people feel like, they don't even want to work for anyone. They want to be their own boss. Like there's a stigma, but there's so many other routes as well. You can literally be an artist. You could be a YouTuber, a blogger. There's people that are making careers of cooking and playing games, video. Like there's so many career paths. Like it's literally just about finding what's right for you. Like there's so many different things.
Even saying that, some people might find themselves really loving or enjoying what they're doing in the corporate world. It's not an issue if you actually have something else you want to do on the side. You literally have all the time in the world to do whatever you want. So if, let's say, you work 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, Saturday, let's say you're good at baking, you could do that on the side. You could promote your business on the side with that one as well.
I remember we had an episode 2 weeks ago that FMJ was saying that everyone should have 3 strings of income. If you're doing a full-time job, you should you should have an investment, you should do something. 3 means that money is coming in. And I think that's what we've just echo now, that even if you are doing the corporate work, you need to do something at the weekend. You need to look for many other options that can fit into your lifestyle. So those are the options available. Self-employed,
a
creatives, being a athlete. There's a lot of people that still do sports and on the side as well. There's an artist. I feel like there's a big trend in UK rap at the moment. A lot of them are finding themselves becoming very successful now.
I think it's important as well, if you have any adults as well that you can speak to. I find a lot of adults and like parents, I don't really want to specifically speak about African parents, but to be open-minded about stuff like creative stuff, like being an artist, being a makeup artist, being a hairdresser, being a musician, because people can really make it from there. Like, people can make money from doing pretty much anything these days. All you have to do is put yourself out there on the internet, and you can make money from pretty much anything. So parents should be a bit more open and allow their children to kind of venture into different areas.
True. As long as they're not demonstrating laziness.
To be honest, to succeed in anything, you can't be lazy. So it's not about, I want to do this because it's easy. I don't think there's any easy choice realistically, because if that was the case, everyone would be doing something and everyone would be making millions. But as you can see, there's so many people that can do something and there'll be different outcomes and different levels of success, and that's all boils down to how much hard work and how much effort and the right application different people are putting in. So I just feel like wherever you want to go into, you can pursue, but then the first things first, you need to be honest with yourself. You need to know, can I do this? Can I really do this? Because even with this self-employed trend, I call it a trend because there's now a lot of young people see it as, they're like, let's go for it, let's do what we want to do. But I always say, you need to know if it's for you, because I always say, being self-employed is not easier than being employed,
at all.
Because if you don't work, your business doesn't work. You take a day off, your business takes a day off. You sleep, your business sleeps. Until like you have people working for you, it's literally all down to yourself. Like, you can't sleep on the job. That's what I'll say. You can't sleep for a second. Whereas if I work for my job, I can call in sick and they're still going to be making money. I'm still going to be employed. I'll still get paid. Whereas being self-employed, everything boils down to you. Promotion, you. Productivity, you. Your service has to be you. If you don't have to speak to people, if you don't have to accustom the way you deal with customers and clients, if that's the type of business you're going into, you're going to really struggle, because end of the day, you're representing your business, you're representing your brand. So you need to learn these skills attached with it. For me, if I say I work at a company, they could be, that's a great company, but they don't know anything about me. So it's like there's big differences.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. This is Let's Build It on PRZ Radio 109.2 FM. We're talking about transition from uni to real life. Many people are confused. Just listen to what we have been discussing today, and you'll be able to make up your mind. And if you still have any question that you're not clear of, please send it to us. Afo and Rukky will answer the questions and we'll bring it back on here to you. Please, and your children, please take time to be part of their life, be part of their decision, so that you will guide them, because they are left alone from uni, from secondary school or sixth form or college. They are left on their own to take decisions. We don't have to impose our own idea on them, but to guide them. And I believe that they will all do well in Jesus' name.
So I've got a question. Someone wanted to know how Rukky started her business.
So I started my business while I was at uni. I was actually in second year of uni at the time, and I just started doing hair on the side, just doing it for my friends, myself. And for some reason, I decided to make an Instagram page. And these days, social media is literally the key to making it. That's why I always say, because these days, handing out flyers and sticking your leaflets everywhere doesn't really work as much. Social media is literally the platform where you could do anything and everything. So I made an Instagram page, and from there, I just started getting followers. And now I'm on about 14.5K followers. and
Wow.
about 60 clients a month. So I've built my clientele quite well in the past 2 years, but it's just all from Instagram, I'd say, and patience.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I hope that person is happy with that response. If you still have further questions, please send it to us. Okay, what advice will you give to the young people to balance their work life and their youthful life, their social life?
Even before I give the advice, I feel like that's the balancing work life and keeping your youth is very important, because another issue a lot of people deal with after uni, you have a big change of environment. A lot of people, they're used to living with their friends, seeing their friends every day, having complete freedom to go out their house whenever they want, control shopping, control what they do literally every day. And then they come back home, and now all of a sudden you're not in your own house, you're in your parents' house, or you're not around your friends anymore because one of them lives in South London and in Croydon, and you're living in Enfield, so you're not seeing your friends all the time. So now it's sort of like an environment change, and you're not really used to it, because it's like now everyone's kind of dealing with their life, and let's say you don't have your own in check, it's like you can't really just go over to your friends and spend as much time as so it's I feel like a lot of people have work, so you can't even call their phone or speak to them as much. So I think that's one thing a lot of people deal with that is quite a big difficulty. And in terms of the advice I'd give, for me, I'd always say you need to keep that balance, because you need to not let one vote over your life. So when I say that, I mean like whether you're working or whether you're taking time off, because I feel like we haven't even mentioned it's okay to take time off if you have a plan. Some people take a year off traveling. They want to enjoy these things because they find that once they're in the working world, they might not have the time to travel, they might not have the time to do the things and see the sights that they want to see. So whatever you're doing, you need to plan it in advance. So I feel like you need to have the balance, make sure you're doing what you enjoy, and you're still focusing on your priorities at the same time. So some top tips I would give: let's say you're working 9 to 5, take a weekend to maybe see your friends or to go out and enjoy yourself. And then maybe if you're doing that and you need time for yourself, the next week have a weekend of just being indoors. Have your time, enjoy Netflix, enjoy the football, just enjoy your space. That I feel like you just need to make sure you're not constantly doing the same thing, because then that's when you're in a bubble. That's when it's like you're in a trap. You're doing the same thing 9 to 5, and then there's no spark, there's no enjoyment in life. You need to look forward. You need to have something to look forward to, and by having plans on a weekend with your friends, or whether it's something you go out, is like you're having purpose throughout the week, and it's like you're still getting your enjoyment, and you're still doing your priorities at the same time.
Thank you so much. Rukky?
Adding on to that about the whole being in a bubble and just the 9 to 5 constantly, I think that's important as well, because it links to the whole post uni depression, because a lot of people come from uni where they're kind of, life is a bit more lenient. You're not as pressured to do things, and once you go into the corporate world, it's like you're doing 9 to 5 every single week, and it's quite daunting for a lot of people. So you find yourself doing this, and then the weekends, before you know it, it's Sunday, then it's Monday, and you're back to doing the same thing. So it's important, like Afojj said, to take time and just have time for yourself, your friends, your family, and just do what you enjoy as well on the side. So don't just limit yourself to 9 to 5, because at the end of the day, you're basically building someone else's business.
It's true.
So
it's true.
For yourself.
Another thing I'd say in that sense is like plan ahead. So even if you're doing 9 to 5 and you're not enjoying it, put yourself through the mindset that, okay, in this year's, by this time next year, I want to move on. So just know that you're always one step ahead. So if you're thinking that I should be getting paid more, or I'm not really being used to the best of my potential, let yourself know that, okay, I'm going to start applying for jobs, and by this time next year I don't want to be here or in the same position. So always set yourself goals. And even coming back to the topic of keeping the balance, I'd always say there's things that, what were you doing when you were 16 that you had fun? So something, for example, a lot of guys, they like playing football, but as you grow older, there's no real time to read. There's no time. So make time. Organize a group chat, which what I do. I've got a group chat with over 40, 50 of my friends. We play football every week. It's something that we can all, if you can get the time to do, we play football. We have a laugh. We play about. So it's like, look at what you did like a few years ago when life wasn't so serious. It doesn't mean that I'm playing football every day in the park till stupid o'clock. It just means I'm still getting a bit of my youth. I'm still going cinema. I'm still trying to go out to parties every now and then when it's suitable for me. So it's like, just remember what made you happy and don't put an end to it so quick.
Fantastic. That's a great idea, because as you mentioned, the post-uni depression is a serious thing. Yeah. I've seen many people depressed after graduation. So maybe these are the things that they are not juggling well, and people should be able to notice such. Maybe parents or friends should be able to notice when people are going through this post-uni depression. Because you can't go to uni for 4 years, 3 years, 5 years, and you come out and you are smashed up because you started a job, or because you haven't got a job. Because anything can cause it. It can be like, after 3 years I haven't got a job, or after 3 years I'm just in this job that I'm not enjoying, or after 3 years I'm not getting along with the people. I'm missing my friends. They're not like the set of friends that I've had. So I believe that such person should seek for help and talk to someone about it, so that they won't go through this post-uni depression.
But I think post-uni depression is something that's not talked about a lot. So people kind of brush it under the carpet. They don't see it as something that's quite serious. But I think even judging off like Twitter alone, you see a lot of people tweet about, after uni, I haven't been the same, this and that. So I think it's important for not just parents but friends, siblings, and like just people around you to just check up on other people. And even touching on what you said earlier about people always asking, oh, what are you doing now, what job have you got? Sometimes it's important to not even ask, because you asking, oh, what are you doing now, can really set someone into deeper depression, because they might really be struggling with it already, and then you asking just brings it back to light. So I think it's important to just kind of be mindful of what you ask people and what you say around people.
That's a good advice. I believe people will take note of that and just not ask questions. Maybe many of us have made the mistake in time past and ask questions that are really touchy. That make people feel somehow, because I believe I've made that mistake before. I saw someone that we've not seen for ages, and I started asking, how are your children? And this, so I haven't got any. I felt so bad.
It's just assumptions. A lot of times people jump to it.
I felt so bad, and since then I don't ask such questions. I let you tell me whatever you want me to know. You tell me first in special circumstances like that. So I want to believe that is the key thing that we need to hold on to, not just to assume that what is happening with us is happening with others as well. Thank you so much, Afojj, JJ, and Rukky. Now, the last thing that we want to talk about is comparing yourself with others. How can that affect you as well?
I feel like that's one thing that could lead to a lot of issues, in terms of, if you think life is meant to be one way and you judge this off by comparing yourself to others, I feel like this is something that it could be quite detrimental, because you're thinking, why am I not here? Why have I not done this? But the only reason why you're thinking that is because you're looking at other people. Whereas if you literally focused on yourself, you'll realize there's no race. There's no perfect script. There's no, by this age I will do this. By 25 I will be married. That's one thing I hear these girls all the time. They think they when will you marry? Like, just take your time, relax. Like, literally, they say comparison is a thief of joy. So like, this is literally the only reason why you're seeing it as a bad thing that you're not accomplish certain things, is only because you're not focusing on your lane. You're focused on too many other people around you. So I feel like if you take a step back and focus on yourself for just a while without thinking of others, you'll then notice that you're making progress, because that's where all your efforts are going to, and you're not looking at it in a negative light. You're looking at it as if this is something I'm going to aspire to be, and you're setting plans and goals and working to achieve them.
Thank you so much. That's very, very key.
I think that's the same that I think as well. I think if, for example, you only focus on yourself, so you look back to, okay, I finished college and I got maybe an AAB, that's good. I've now gone on to uni and I finished uni as well. Congratulations to me, and I've got a job as well. But if you look at another person's life, you think, okay, they finished uni, but they got a first, and I got a 2-1. Then you become a bit. You see your achievements as not as worthy as theirs. So you need to just look at your own progression. Like, okay, you finished college, you finished uni, you've got a job now. What's next for you? Whereas comparing it to other people will kind of just limit your own.
On the flip side to it, though, I will say, however, there's ways you can compare yourself and do it in a
healthy way.
Like,
encourage
I always say that healthy competition is good, and also comparing yourself in terms of helping yourself in terms of finding what's good for you. So you can literally be speaking to someone and you can say, oh, I've done this, I've done that. You can and then they can recommend something for you, and they can lift you up at the same time. So if that's helping you succeed in life, it's healthy. But when you're now looking at it in a negative way, like, why, sad about it. When you're looking in a sad, negative way, and you're not looking at the good things you got, and you're only looking at the good things other people has, that's when it becomes unhealthy. And that's when it becomes, oh, you're not really focusing on yourself, you're focusing on others. But you're thinking, okay, I could do this person is doing this well, I could use that as a tip and apply it to myself. So for an example, someone is going to the gym and they're staying active as well as working at the same time. You're thinking, oh, I'm letting myself go, I'm getting unhealthy, and that's what all of a sudden is affecting your mindset and is affecting your results on work. You're thinking, oh, I could take that bit of advice from my friend and apply it to myself. That is now being more constructive and helping yourself.
True.
But it's just a way of where I believe if you're focusing too much on others, that's when it becomes negative.
Yeah. You are competing with them.
Yeah, it's more of a competition rather than
and that is not necessary, it's not healthy, and it leads to bitterness, sadness, anger about yourself. And if you are in such a situation, you won't be able to move forward. So I
think it's important as well, like with our generation, there's a lot of competition going on at the moment. Everyone wants to do the next big thing or the next best thing. So it's important to not judge people's success off what you see. Like with our 100%. Generation, a lot of people, they value designers a lot. So if you see someone in Gucci head to toe, doesn't mean they have money. You could own 2 properties and you're not wearing any Gucci, any designer, but someone else is wearing all of that. So it's important to just don't judge what you see and just go at your own pace.
Okay, thank you so much, Afojj. Rukky, do you want to quickly tell people how they can get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me on either Instagram, RGWigs, or I've got a website, www.rgwigs.co.uk.
Okay, and Afo wants to...
if you want to follow me on any socials, Afo_JJ. And also, if you're available, there's a youth event going on at Christ Family Assembly in partnership with Life Everlasting Parish. And the youth event will be My Transition Through Life. And it's going to be its benefits and expected challenges. So this will be this Saturday at 3 o'clock. And it's going to be at 6 Elton Road, Lee, London.
Thank you so much. Please, if you are available, join this gathering, and there will be face-to-face interaction that will be very, very useful for your life. Thank you for tuning in again today. This is Let's Believe on PRZ Radio 109.2 FM. Thank you, Rukky. Thank you, Afo. God bless you and stay safe.
Meet Pastor Jummy Opedare, a devout woman of God, wife, mother, and entrepreneur. A God-fearing woman who has devoted her time to ensuring that God's message is used to empower everyone, but most especially women. With a strong belief in the importance of women empowering women and educating each other through our life experiences, she is the founder of Women's Forum, Let's Be Real, a forum for women to work through issues and set and accomplish goals together. Held every second Friday of every month at 6 Elton Road, Lee Green, London. Keep up with Let's Be Real here on PRZ FM every Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.